Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Well, good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom land. I guess I will talk first this morning since Steven is not here again. Steven is off on a vacation. We miss him very much, but he will be back next Saturday for recording our next episode. But today we have some great co-hosts with us. We have along with us, as we did last week, Mr. Brien Ramsey of Three Geeky Dads. Welcome,
Hello.
Brien.
Hello.
We also
Glad to be here again.
Thank you. We're glad to have you. And we also have Mr. Zig from Nerdery and Murdery. Good morning, Zig.
Good morning, gentlemen and lady. How you guys doing this morning?
Good. And
So
of
far, so
course,
good.
we have my daughter, Megan. She wanted to join us for the Doctor Who discussion. Oh, I just gave away our topic. So yes, as I said, we will be discussing Doctor Who today. A couple weeks ago, when I approached Brien about guest hosting on the show, I threw out the idea of doing the House M, which would kind of continue our journey to the road to Multiverse of Madness. And he agreed to do that. And then we were trying to come up with a second topic, spitballing ideas. And Brian's like, the other geeky dads, they're not into Doctor Who, and you're into Doctor Who. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm into Doctor Who. And he's like, I think we should talk Doctor Who. I'm like, okay. So then I mentioned it to Zig, and Zig's like, pick me. So that's how we have our little Doctor Who panel. So I thought we'd start off the discussion a little bit with some history of the show. Now I know Zig's covered the history a little bit. Zig, you're covering Doctor Who, each of the Doctors, right?
Yes, we are doing an iteration. Matter of fact, we just recorded the John Pertwee or the Third Doctor episode, but it won't be released for another 8 to 9, maybe 10 weeks.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Shoot, I'm starting to have some streaming issues.
Oh no!
I apologize in advance. Yeah, I had a hard time hearing you, Zig. But that's not on you. That's on me. So anyway, history of the show. And I know you covered a little bit of the history. You did the first 2 Doctors, so you got the third one coming out soon. But I figured we'd go over it a little bit on this show. So Doctor Who actually began. It premiered on November 23rd, 1963. And the interesting thing about that was it actually premiered like right at the same time of the announcement of the Kennedy assassination. And you talk about some history just, colliding into each other. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Zig, but I believe they reran the first episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
they reran the first episode a week later just so because nobody was watching it.
Yeah,
Right.
Everybody was glued to the news.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is understandable,
Yeah.
So, and then the show originally was intended to be more of an educational show with the idea of exploring scientific ideas and historical events through the use of time travel. That was the original intent of the show. But it kind of became more of the monster of the week type thing.
Sidney Newman quite famously said, he was the head of drama at BBC, said he didn't want any bug-eyed monsters, no BEMs. And then they had the Daleks episode. He's like, well, I guess I was wrong.
Well, yeah, that became BBC's biggest merchandising hit was the Daleks. So and I think to this day it's still a big seller for them.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the Daleks. I prefer my Daleks to be closer to the original iteration of the Daleks.
Not
The salt
Skittle
pepper
one.
shaker.
You don't like the Skittle
Yeah.
Daleks?
I hate the Skittle Daleks. They just look terrible.
I like the Skittle Daleks.
Oh jeez. I don't like the bright colors. I don't like. They made them bulky and just I don't know. They were
I'm seeing a theme here with Mike. He doesn't like bright colored Daleks. He doesn't like bright colored speeders.
no, you're right. I don't like.
Maybe he just doesn't like bright colors.
I think so. It's a black and white world for Mike.
That's right.
Shades of gray.
Shades of gray. I like that. That's good. So yeah, so that's kind of the history of Doctor Who. The first Doctor was William Hartnell. He played the Doctor for 3 seasons, if I remember correctly. And then William Hartnell became ill, and I think the crew decided, the production crew or whatever, the writing staff, I don't know
producers.
exactly, the producers.
Yeah.
I think the producers came to the conclusion that he was not well enough to continue as the Doctor.
He was constantly flubbing lines and missing cues and
right.
Yeah, his health was failing throughout the 3rd season that he was doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I think it became more apparent that something needed to be done.
Right. But he himself really didn't want to leave the role.
Well, no.
You know,
I can see that.
He would have preferred to stay in the role, but his health wouldn't allow it. So they decided they were going to get a new Doctor.
Yeah.
This is where Doctor Who becomes unique of any television show out there, because this allowed Doctor Who to reinvent themselves whenever they want. And that is something that is unique to this show that no other show has been able to do. And so what they did was they decided that the Doctor was going to become someone else, yet he was still the Doctor. It was just going to be a different guy,
a new
playing
body.
him. Right, just a new body, you know. But with each Doctor, of course, we get new personalities to the Doctor. So it was just a way of reinventing the character every so often. And, you know, that is so unique to Doctor Who. No other show can claim this. And it was, you know, it was like an accidental, ingenious concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
that allowed this show to last for years and years to come. And I just found it amazing. You know, so
it was a stroke. It was a stroke of genius. And well, I mean, the only other thing I could think of that comes close is James Bond, just because they recast that ever so often. But they never specifically say in James Bond, well, James Bond's it's not a
code
person.
Name or...
It's a code name. It's a It's a job title. They never.
I'm not a big James Bond fan. So when the new James Bond takes over, there's no point of people recognizing that he's a different person, right?
No, it's just second nature.
Right.
You know, they just act as if he's always been there.
Where when the Doctor regenerates, there's this mistrust because they can't believe, usually the people around him can't believe that he is the same person. And usually it takes a little while to build up that trust.
Right.
That it really is who he says he is.
That's a secret that the Doctor likes to keep close to his vest. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't tell any companions that, hey, you know, somewhere down the line, if things go south, you know, I might become a different person. So prepare yourself. And then everybody's shocked when it happens.
Right. Exactly. And
the only person who wasn't shocked was Lethbridge Stewart when John Pertwee turns into Tom Baker because he'd seen it before. He's like, saw it happen this time.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I love Tom Baker's regeneration too. It's, in fact, I was watching it before you guys came on.
Nice.
No, I'm the Doctor. I'm the genuine article, you might say. I love that.
You may be a doctor, but I am the
doctor. Yes. And I still go by he is the Doctor as
Uh-huh.
far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that should take us right into our favorite Doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wanted to kind of hit up on that. My personal favorites, classic, of course, is Tom Baker, the Fourth Doctor.
Mm.
New Who, it's kind of a toss up between New Who,
Mm.
yeah, which isn't really new anymore, actually.
Yeah, I know.
10
It's
years
been-
old now, right?
Well,
More than that.
it's almost
95?
20.
I
Well,
was
the real kickoff was 2004, 2005.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So-
yeah, 15 years.
Yeah,
No, 17 years.
yeah.
Wow.
We're approaching 20. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been around that long.
it's weird to imagine that I really did grow up with the new
Mhm.
like completely.
Yeah, you did. You
It
did.
doesn't feel like it though. It feels like I was older than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I'm your dad and I
That's true.
introduced you to Doctor Who. So, you knew who Doctor Who was before, a lot of people did. So, so
Also, before you continue,
yeah.
we have comments and I think
Oh,
they're
I
funny.
forgot to go on to the chat side. Sorry. Okay. So Jeffrey's on. Funny, my wife hates the Daleks, loves Doctor Who, but hates the Daleks. Weird.
Mm. Is it the voice? I can see how the voice would get annoying after a while, maybe.
Exterminate. Yeah, that would do it.
Daleks are my favorites.
I don't know. It seems like if you're a Doctor Who fan, you gotta love the Daleks. I mean, that's
There
such
is arch
a
enemy.
yeah,
They're the most beloved enemy.
Mm.
right. I mean, they've been around since the first
Yeah. Yeah.
episode. so-
Scaring English children since 1963.
3.
Mhm.
The creature that made kids hide behind the couch.
That's right.
That's hilarious. So yeah, my favorite Doctors, I would go Tom Baker, the Fourth Doctor in Classic Who, and then it's kind of a toss up between David Tennant and Matt Smith, the 10th and the 11th Doctors. So
Mm.
I will slide to David Tennant for this episode. So Jeff, Zig. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, he's still reading the comments.
Nice.
Yeah, no kidding. So Zig, who would you say your favorites are?
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say John Pertwee because I'm kind of a toss up between Pertwee and Tom Baker, even though Tom Baker was my first.
That's reasonable though.
Yeah, but the idea of him being stuck on Earth and working in unit, I love all that stuff.
Nice.
And one of my favorite episodes is a John Pertwee episode, which is the Mutants, which I think I said we covered on our show a little bit. And for my New Who, I'm gonna say Jodie Whittaker. I love that actress.
Mm.
I love the actress and the way she plays that role.
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
find that interesting because if I was choosing, if I got to choose who the first female Doctor was, I would not have chose her actually.
Oh no.
No. And in fact, when I heard Chris Chibnall was the new showrunner,
Mm.
which I got to say I've not been happy with him. But I was a fan of Broadchurch. I really enjoyed that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked Broadchurch had David Tennant, which was the 10th Doctor. And then gosh, I cannot remember her name, and I
We
should
were
have
doing this a couple of episodes ago too. We were trying to remember her name.
Olivia
And
Colman.
she also popped up in Hot Fuzz.
Thank you.
right, yeah, Olivia Colman.
Yeah,
Olivia
Olivia
Colman
Colman.
was the co-star
Mhm.
in Broadchurch. I actually would have picked her for the Doctor. I think she would have made a great Doctor. And she actually was in Doctor Who for one episode. She was in Matt Smith's first episode. She was one of Prisoner Zero's,
Mhm.
bodies. that-
Victims. Yeah.
She was the one. She was the mother with the kids.
Yes.
Okay.
I really liked her. And apparently, Brian, your wife,
Yep.
Said
She likes
Matt
Matt
Smith.
Smith. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. She does.
nice.
Jeff said Matt Smith too.
Yes.
Mhm.
I do have a weird note.
Okay.
Apparently, Jane Tranter, one of the producers, considered casting Judi Dench as the 9th Doctor,
Oh wow.
and Helen Mirren was suggested for the role of the 12th Doctor
Oh, I would have loved Helen Mirren
instead of Peter
Doctor Who.
Capaldi. Yeah, Helen Mirren.
Wow. Interesting.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
So
See, Peter Capaldi is my pick for New Who.
okay.
But
Oh, really?
I would gladly see Helen Mirren in his place. I love
Now,
Helen Mirren.
what did Helen?
I
Mirren-
watch Helen Mirren read the phone book. Yeah, I'm with you.
Exactly. What did Helen Mirren
what-
star in?
Yeah, what did she star in? I don't. I don't
Excalibur, Red.
Yes.
Tons of stuff. She's been
Oh, the,
acting since the late 60s.
Yeah, not. I want to say Touching Evil. Prime Suspect. She was in that for years.
Mm,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
And Brian, who's your choice for classic Who?
Like you, it's Tom Baker. He was my first Doctor, and he'll
Tom
always
Baker.
be my favorite, I think. Yeah, I loved him.
I think our age, I
Mhm.
think takers. You know,
Yeah.
well, I'll say a lot of Americans our age. You know,
Yeah,
Well, he
Yeah,
was
I
the
won't
first one
say-
that was sold over here.
he
So
was.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people to this day, you know, you say Doctor Who, and the first thing they think of, oh, the guy with the curly hair and the
Mm,
long scarf.
and the scarf. Yep.
Right. So, Megan, your
Um,
picks.
Considering Tom Baker's the only one I've seen of the originals, he
Mhm.
kind of is automatically my favorite for
That's
that.
that is not my fault. I've tried to introduce her to other classic doctors.
You're a good father.
the Mutants, Megan. Just watch the Pertwee episode of the Mutants. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. However, having said that, it is 3 hours long. So watch it in
Well,
blocks.
That's
Mhm.
a lot of classic Doctor Who, though.
Yeah. Well, it was nice. It was broken up into half-hour segments too.
Yes.
Easy to find those breaks.
Right.
And then I don't know, the new ones are hard for me to pick, but because if you would have asked me when it first started, and even like the first part or maybe the first season of David Tennant's, my answer would have been Christopher Eccleston, and because that was my introduction,
Mm-hmm.
and he was my favorite for the longest time. I've loved pretty much all the new ones except for Jodie, but I'd probably stick with Tennant.
Now, when you say you've loved all the new ones, does that include Capaldi?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
I did. I loved Capaldi.
Okay.
There was
He
works.
brings a lot of tension to Doctor Who.
He was very curmudgeonly. Like the first season and a half that he was the Doctor, he was very standoffish, and he was
Right.
very.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Very
I guess
William
curmudgeonly is
Hartnell.
the best word to
Yes.
describe him.
Yes. Very.
Yeah.
You know,
Very
that's
William Hartnell.
That's
Mm.
a good comparison, Zig, because I would compare him to William Hartnell,
Mm.
but then I would compare Matt Smith to Patrick Troughton, actually.
Yeah.
Because
That more
Smith was-
childlike, more
Yeah.
sense of wonder kind of
I
Doctor.
love that.
Matt was amazing. He really
Mhm.
was.
Matt was good.
Now, I remember watching Rose, which is the first episode of the New Who with Christopher Eccleston.
Yep.
And I remember watching that and thinking at the time, because, you know, they weren't putting the money into it yet. You know, it didn't have the big budget that it was getting later on.
Mm-hmm.
So there was kind of this almost silly classic Doctor Who feel to that
Mhm.
original episode.
Yeah.
And I just completely fell in love with it. I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, this is
Yeah.
Doctor Who. Doctor
Yeah.
Who.
Well,
is
they
back.
revisited it with the mannequins. I forget
Yes.
the name. The alien.
The
Zig probably
automatons.
knows off the top of his
I
head.
hate those things.
The automatons.
Yeah, the Autons.
Thank you.
Yeah. The automatons.
Hmm.
Yeah, mannequins still creep me out.
Oh yeah, I'm with you, Megan.
That's part of the reason they're a creepy, you know, animal.
Hmm.
Shoot out They even did the guns in the hand was right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah.
Most people that I've talked to about Doctor Who and stuff, their scariest one is the Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
And then there's me where I'm like, I still can't walk past mannequins in stores without like flinching.
Hmm.
I hate mannequins. They're creepy.
But you can go through the cemetery and see angel statues.
I will
though.
point out angel statues.
Yeah,
and go,
we do that
I will
actually.
Yeah.
go. I will go. Weeping Angel.
Better keep them in
Yeah.
eye shot.
Don't blink.
Well, we actually have a cemetery basically in our
behind
backyard.
us.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We are separated by a fence, so
Yeah,
if they
I don't
come,
think that matters with Weeping Angels.
I don't think it does.
well, yeah, zombies though. Most zombies it'll keep out as long as
Yeah.
they are Walking Dead zombies and not
Yeah.
if they're World War Z zombies, we're
Yeah.
screwed.
Yeah, you want the shamblers. You don't want the runners.
Yeah, you don't want the runners. You want the shamblers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Weeping Angels are one of my favorite
Mm,
enemies.
Oh, I didn't even think about favorite enemies.
yeah.
Whoa.
You didn't think about favorite companion either, did you?
Well, no, I gave that some thought too.
Oh.
Favorite companion for me is pretty easy. I'm gonna go
Sarah
Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Sarah Jane.
I knew that was.
I
She
think
did it longer than anybody else.
Yeah, she's the ultimate Doctor Who companion.
Hmm.
I just love Sarah Jane.
Yeah,
Didn't
she's
we
the
go
only
for
companion
Jane?
that got her own spin-off show too.
This is true.
Twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of surprised Rose didn't get one, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
I think Rose. I think what's her name? Who played Rose?
Billy
Piper.
Piper.
Billy Piper. I think she wanted to move on to other things.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Mm.
And understandably, you know. So, Zig, what would your favorite companion be?
Well, I'm rather fond of Sarah Jane, but I want to say the most interesting companion, probably Turlo from Peter Davison, because he was working with the Black Guardian, and he wasn't a bad guy, but he was stuck in a situation he could not get out of.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I
Mm.
noticed you didn't pick what's his face, the kid. Gosh, I can't think of his name.
Adric.
Yeah, Adric.
Yeah.
Adric, the one that died.
Yeah.
Right. The one that died, and most Doctor Who fans cheered because nobody liked Adric.
Yeah. Poor Edric. He gets no love.
He sure does.
Adric gets no love.
Yeah, poor guy. I feel sorry for him today, actually. Now, back in the day, though, I didn't watch a lot of Peter Davison because, you know, you and I talked about this, Brian, a little bit.
Hmm.
That when Tom Baker regenerated, we just didn't understand
No.
what was going on.
No, because we were introduced to Tom Baker,
Right.
and he had already regenerated. They didn't show his regeneration in the first episode, which is actually where I was introduced to him. Accidentally stumbling upon
Yeah.
the robot serial,
Yep.
right
giant
from the
robot.
get-go. Episode
Mhm.
1 of Robot, and I'm fixated on the TV as a 10, 11-year-old kid. Like, what am I
Mhm.
watching? This is
Yes.
amazing.
What is
Um,
this?
But you know, and he finished his run like it. You know, we were watching it on the local PBS station here eventually because it started on a different network and moved over. And by the time he regenerated, I was like, I don't like the new guy. I don't understand. Why did they change him? He was so great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Well,
the same way.
Not
Peter
growing up with it
Davidson's-
since the 60s.
Oh, sorry.
No, I
Um,
was just gonna say not being exposed to the fact that this is what what's written into the show and this is how it's supposed to be. Maybe if I had known that, I would have accepted it a little bit more. But all of a sudden they make this change, and I was like, no, I don't like this guy. Bring back
Well,
Tom.
I mean, Peter Davidson also suffered from the same problem that Jodie Whittaker does, and he had a lot of bad writing. They hired a bunch of TV writers for the show
Mhm.
instead of Doctor Who writers or science fiction writers,
Science
and
fiction.
so they were a bunch of soap opera writers, so they wrote it
no
like a
kidding.
soap opera. Yeah, so that's why Peter Davidson suffered a lot from
Mm.
bad writing, which is the same thing I think that Jodie Whittaker suffers from.
Mhm.
I think we discussed this before. They lean too heavily on the companions,
Mhm.
and you guys both made this point, I think
Before,
succinctly, is that they really rely too heavily on the companions for.
I think
for
that
running.
that's more the focus of the show now with Jodie Whittaker. It's more about the companions. It's more about that family instead of focusing on the doctor and what the doctor needs to do. It's more like you said, Zig. It's more soap opera-ish.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think
Now-
that's a shame because
No,
do like
there's
Jodie
not to
Whittaker.
say that that's not necessarily a bad.
It's not, but don't rely it on that almost 100%.
Yeah, it shouldn't be 80% of the show.
Yeah,
Well, the show is called Doctor Who, not
right, for a reason.
not the companions. So now
Their job is to say, "What is it, Doctor?"
Yeah,
right,
exactly. They are us.
Yep. I mean, I ran into that a little bit with oh shoot, what's her name?
Clara?
Not Clara.
Martha?
Rose.
No. Nope. We'll get it here.
Are we talking about new?
Rory and
Amy.
Oh, Amy.
Amy Pond.
Yeah, I ran because now I loved Amy Pond. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I thought Amy was a fantastic
Mm.
companion, but I hated the intros to the shows back
Mm.
then because it started off with Amy doing a voiceover.
Yeah.
They overdid it.
It was almost like it was Amy's show, not the doctor.
It started to become so. Yeah.
Right.
They did
Yeah.
a few episodes where it was basically the Amy and Rory show.
Yeah.
The Doctor who was a background character, which is
Yeah.
interesting for an episode.
Mhm.
I think you should do that for the classic series. Did that too with
Yeah.
the Daleks Master Plan or something like that.
Sure.
It's gone. You can't see it. It's
But
one of the
when
ones that
you-
got
Oh, it's
erased.
one of the missing ones?
Yeah.
But when you have a companion intro the show for every episode,
Mm.
Yeah, a
yeah,
little much.
Those are hard.
Mhm.
that was the only thing I didn't like about that era, because I could have done. But again, I thought she was a fantastic companion, though.
Oh,
she
she
was
was.
great.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Amy.
I just didn't like the emphasis being more on her
Mhm.
than it was the doctor and putting the doctor in the background. I
Mhm.
don't like that. The doctor should always be in the forefront, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Amy
Yeah.
was cool because she was always like, a strong and head smart kind of companion.
Mhm.
She wasn't the damsel in distress kind of like, oh, doctor, save me, save me.
Mhm.
But Sarah Jane was the original.
She was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, Leela was really the first strong one.
Sarah Jane in her own way was too. She was
Yeah,
pretty
oh, yeah.
resourceful.
Right. Yeah.
But Leela was, originated as a savage kind
Right.
of
Warrior of the
character.
17 tribe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which I gotta
So
say,
she was written to be strong,
Leela would probably be my second favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was just thinking. No.
No, what is it, man?
Okay, so the original, The Face of Evil.
Yes. One of my
the original
favorite
title of that episode was The Day God Went Insane, but they made him change
Oh wow.
That would be another one I would recommend to casual viewers. I'm like, see the mutants, see The Face of Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
that's all you need to know about Doctor Who.
Now, you guys know about Big Finish, right? Big Finish
the audio stories.
Yes. So Big Finish Audio, they continued on with the Doctor Who tradition.
Yes.
With Paul McGann, actually.
Love Paul McGann.
So they have several of the classic Doctors still. They have Paul McGann. They have Peter Davison.
Mm-hmm.
They have the great Tom Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester McCoy. They have him. Then they have voice. Well, they have David Bradley, who played the first Doctor in Adventures in Time and Space,
which is the docu movie about the making of Doctor Who. Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you've never watched An Adventure in Time and Space, go watch it.
Yeah, do yourself a favor.
Yeah. If you're listening on a recorded, pause the show, go check that out, and then come back. We'll wait.
Yes. Definitely.
Hey, they're back.
It's like time travel.
Yes.
Yes.
But David Bradley, I mean, he really embodies the William Hartnell.
He really does.
I loved it. I would.
And they brought him back in a Doctor Who episode playing.
Yes, they did.
Was that a Capaldi episode?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Capaldi's last.
Yeah.
Yep. It was great. Oh my gosh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved it if they would have just done like a spin-off with just him as the Doctor for a short time. That get some more adventures with him. That would have been great. Which technically you got in Big Finish Audio. Because they've carried on with his iteration of the first Doctor, which is
when Doctor Who was gone, they were the only ones doing anything.
Yeah.
Yep. It's almost like in Star Wars, after Return of the Jedi ended, most Star Wars fans call those the dark years.
Mm-hmm.
those were the dark times.
Mm-hmm. Before the new Who.
Right, exactly. and for Doctor Who had a very long dark time too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
1989 to 1996, and then from 1996 to 2005.
exactly. And in,
dark
in
times.
96, we thought we were getting it back.
Yeah.
So that's when Paul McGann he took on the role
Mhm.
in the collaboration between Fox Studios and the BBC,
Right.
and we came up with quote unquote the first American. Well, I don't technically you can't call that the first American either.
It was Canadian. Well, it was supposed to be in
Yeah.
San Francisco, but it
Yeah,
was shot in Vancouver.
So North American.
Movies are shot in Canada.
Do what, Megan?
So a lot of movies are actually shot in
Yeah.
Canada.
Oh yeah,
Nowadays,
they are. And TV
nowadays.
shows.
So yeah, that's hard to say who it belonged to at this point.
Well, yeah, but we all thought at that point the BBC was like, well, we entered into this deal with Fox, and now that we've got this deal signed and it didn't work, we're never going to bring Doctor Who back again. We thought it was dead.
Right. Exactly.
You know, at least before that 96 movie, there was always a chance. There was always rumblings.
Right.
But after that 96 movie, it was like, we'll never get Doctor Who again. It's gone.
Yep. Because that flopped and everyone, and
it
actually
flopped here. It didn't flop over there.
Yeah.
Steven popped in.
Hey, Steven.
Hey,
Hey,
what's going
Steven.
on, dude? We thought you were driving.
Yeah, no kidding.
Put the
Dude,
phone down. Keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, put the phone down and keep driving, man. No, we miss you, Steven. So anyway, going back, when you guys when we were all talking about our experiences with the Doctor changing, so we have somebody here from a different generation than us who she went through that, and I got to watch her go through that, which was just amazing, because she watched Christopher Eccleston change into David Tennant. And actually both her and my wife, because my wife wasn't into Doctor Who, when we were kids and stuff. So actually my wife was going through the same thing, and they were like, no, we don't want him to change. We don't want him.
Like I said, if you had asked me at that time, Eccleston would have been my favorite. And then turns into David Tennant.
Right. Which
who's this guy?
Which I find that fascinating, because for most of us classic fans,
well,
we all say your first Doctor is your Doctor.
Favorite. Yeah.
But for both you and your mother, Megan, your first Doctor wasn't your first Doctor. Or your Doctor wasn't your first Doctor.
Favorite now.
Right.
But to be fair, Eccleston was only in it for a season.
Sure.
So we got attached, and then we got a new person. We got David Tennant. David Tennant was there for like what, 4 seasons? 3?
Yeah,
something
like three seasons. Then they did like a series of movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They had the specials.
Yeah.
They did several specials. I think there was the BBC going through some, I don't know, writers' issues, or I don't know.
No, they were gearing up to go over to digital. That's what it was.
Oh, is that
okay?
Yeah, it's a technical thing. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why the specials, they get like halfway between them, they get a lot better because they kicked it up to 1080.
That you're right. That's right. And then we all started switching, to Blu-ray. Yeah. Okay.
But, so with Eccleston having such a short run, it makes sense that the next one would be our new favorite.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I mean, Eccleston still has a place in my heart. I will always love the first season.
Oh, I love Eccleston.
Also,
I think
it's okay to love them all. It's okay.
Eccleston has Rose for the entirety. And like I said, Rose is my favorite. Not you. I said,
Alexis started talking. Oh my gosh.
Echo.
Now she won't shut up. I don't even know what triggered her. That's funny.
Hit the mute button on it.
Megan will have to do that. She's over by it. Yeah, hit the mute button on it.
We've had to do that on our show a couple of times. I used to have one of those down here. I don't want to say the name. I don't want to trigger it if Megan hasn't turned it off yet. But yeah, she would chime in on a couple of our episodes too before I'm like, I gotta hit the mute button.
Well, I changed the wake word from Alexa to Echo.
Well, it was computer.
Yeah, it was computer.
That's what I've got now.
And then we kept, somehow mentioning computer on the show,
Of
and
course.
when we do it, it goes off. So I
Mhm.
changed it to Echo, not thinking I would be saying Echo in the Hawkeye episodes that we were doing.
That's
So I was like,
right.
oh my gosh, I can't win.
No, it triggered because I said Eccleston, and it.
Oh, I got you.
Echo.
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't figure out what it connected, what it thought sounded like it.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting watching Megan and Brenda go through that whole, anxiety of accepting a new doctor. Because I'm laughing at them. I thought it was funny. I'm like, yeah, guys, I've been through this. I've done this before.
Mhm.
Just be glad they didn't cancel it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go through the dark times.
The dark times.
Yep. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was it had a silhouette of Sylvester McCoy, and it said somewhere out there the tea is getting cold. Remember those going around conventions?
Considering I was born in the beginning of your dark times for Doctor Who.
Well, no, you weren't born in the beginning of it.
Well, for the 96.
Right. Well,
for the last stretch.
The beginning of it would have been 89, which is when I graduated high school.
Wow.
So, yeah.
From the movie.
Understandable. Yes.
I've got Mike beat.
You got what?
Years. I've got you beat by a few years. I graduated high school in 85.
Oh, wow. You graduated before my wife did. She
Wow.
Yep.
So you're a Generation X elder statesman. All right. Nice.
Pretty much.
Generation X elder statesman. I love it.
Don't say elder. I do IT for a school department, and I had a kid yesterday ask if I was Santa Claus while I was fixing a Chromebook in their classroom. Yeah, it doesn't sit well.
I would have looked at it and said, "Yeah, and you ain't getting nothing this year."
Exactly. Is it coal?
You're getting coal
for you. Who's your friend? Coal for you.
Right. Coal for you. Coal for you. That's awesome, man.
No, it's not.
Not so much, huh? Yeah, when I grow out the full beard. See, in the summertime I go to the goatee.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to the full beard, yeah, I get that every now and then.
I might have to go back to the goatee.
Yeah, I like the goatee, but then I get tired of shaving it. So
yeah, I know.
It's just easier. And then of course Zig shaves everything over there.
I know, right?
Oh yeah. Everything but the eyebrows, baby.
Right? I don't even know how you handle that.
I got clippers. I go with the clippers, and then I go with a straight razor on top, or the hoe razor.
Nice. So anyway,
do it about once for 2
circling
weeks.
back to Doctor Who.
Circling back as we do.
As we do. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about was, I think we've all experienced new fans coming into the Doctor Who, universe. And so I was just curious of what you guys suggested to a new fan coming, because we're talking close to 60 years now. It's getting close to 60 years of Doctor Who goodness.
Yeah.
And it's like, so where do you tell a new fan coming into Doctor Who? Where do they start?
That's a good question. Today, I mean, obviously, I think they would have to start with New Who. I think if you pointed them at the cardboardy sets and what do you want to call it, the pop, plasticky pop monsters,
right,
the bubble wrap monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I think that they would just laugh their heads off. I think you'd have to start them off with some New Who and have them go back and say, well, this is where it originated.
But are you going to start them at the beginning of New Who, or are you going to?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I would.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's exactly what I have. That's what I've suggested.
Yeah.
Of course, usually my first question is, how do you feel about science fiction? Do you like classic sci-fi? You know,
Mhm.
If they say they like classic sci-fi, then I'm going to say, all right, go back and watch An Unearthly Child of the first Doctor Who. Watch that, and then I'm going to suggest something like Giant Robot or Face of Evil from Tom Baker or Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah.
Which
Oh yeah.
possibly the greatest Doctor Who serial ever is Genesis.
Yeah.
I love that episode. So
Is that the Baker?
Yeah, but the problem with Genesis, you
ever?
got to bookend it with Revenge of the Cybermen and
Yeah.
not the Sontaran Experiment. Was it the Sontaran Experiment?
oh, I don't remember. Oh goodness.
They went from Nerva. They beamed down. They got caught. No, yeah, it was Arc in Space, Sontaran Experiment, Genesis of the Daleks, and then Revenge of the Cybermen. Is that right?
I don't know, man. You're
Yeah, you're the expert.
you're the expert on this one.
Oh my god, my brain is breaking. I'm
couldn't
sorry.
even
I
remember
can't
what bubble
remember
wrap
the
was called a few
episodes
seconds ago.
like that. Yeah, that's.
I've seen them a time or two.
It's been a while since I watched, but those three there would be my favorite Tom Baker ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say, start getting into some new Who, or if you really like the classics, just start picking stuff from, whichever one that you end up, kind of identifying with. I don't know how you would put that, but that would be my suggestion to a new Who fan.
Father's Day is a 9 episode, right?
The what?
Father's Day.
It's
That's 9's.
Yes.
Yes. Great episode too.
Fantastic. I love that episode.
I love Father's Day.
That is one of my favorite episodes.
Don't touch the baby.
When they cared about not making paradoxes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Then later on, it made no difference.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that tells you continuity doesn't really matter.
Nope.
Doctor Who.
Nope.
But it is a time travel show, so.
True, but when you set this continuity of if you touch the baby, you could destroy all of reality, because the baby would. For anyone listening, Rose goes back in time when she's a baby and sees her parents before her father has died, and actually just before her father dies, because she's gonna try and stop death is what she's gonna do.
That was the first episode I saw with Eccleston on when it was running on the Sci-Fi Channel. Caught it on a Saturday afternoon, halfway through, and I'm like, "That's the Doctor? And what's going on with this car driving around the church and this winged thing that's attacking people?" And I was just so lost. But,
well, yeah, I can imagine you being lost coming in the middle of that episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was bonkers.
I love it when Eccleston's introduced to us, because apparently it's right after his regeneration.
Right.
And he looks in the mirrors and he goes, "The ears are a little long, but I guess they'll do." And that's something I love about regenerations, because each Doctor, they look at what they look like, and then they have comments.
Yeah.
Still not Ginger.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, still not. And the
Tennant,
Doctor
new
still
teeth.
won't.
Well, I've seen comments about the new one, and that the new one has dyed his hair crazy colors.
Yeah,
So,
but that doesn't count.
I mean, not a true Ginger.
Right.
At least we could get orange hair.
Yeah. No, that doesn't count. He's not a true. I want a true Ginger as the Doctor.
Colin Baker was strawberry blonde. Does that count?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because as a kid, I kind of had a. No, mine was
You know.
more of a dirty blonde. But
I gotta go with this.
what, Megan?
I'm trying to see if
The
No, I
ginger
guess she's
thing's
not
been a
ginger.
running joke for
It has been.
a
Yeah.
while now.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Eddie Redmayne. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, Redmayne.
From Fantastic Beasts, who I want to be a doctor because I think he would be amazing. I thought he was maybe Ginger, but I guess that was just lighting.
Is he the main character.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Newt Scamander.
Hmm.
I love him, and I think he would be perfect for the Doctor.
He could be interesting. I think I could see him as the Doctor.
What about if you're going the ginger route? What about Domhnall Gleeson, who was General Hux?
Oh,
yeah.
no, I don't think I could handle that.
No.
I don't
Boy,
think
talk
time
about
travel movie
pulling off
that
the
he did?
nerd hat trick. Hey, I was a character in
gosh,
Doctor
yeah.
Who and Star Wars.
Yeah, he did actually a
and
time
Harry
travel
Potter.
movie.
Yeah, and Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yeah. He did a time travel movie with Bill Nye.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeffrey just chimed in.
I was just gonna say that too.
Yeah.
Rupert Grint, who played Ron Weasley, has been rumored and called for by the fans.
I think
Oh
I
my
could
God,
accept.
He could make a living off of just going to conventions. He wouldn't have to work another day in his life.
I know.
Talk about nerd cred.
Mhm.
I could kind of see Rupert Grint being a good Doctor. And
Well-
he is ginger.
And he is ginger. True.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When you said the guy from Fantastic Beasts, though,
Eddie.
Yeah, I kind of think
I want him so bad.
I think he would work. You know,
Mm.
I mean, obviously he's British, and that's to me that's number one. You got to be Brit.
Well,
I mean,
I will.
yes, I know technically Tennant and Capaldi are not British. They're both Scottish.
Well, they're part of the British Empire.
Right, they're part of that. Yes.
Great
let's be-
Britain.
Well, technically, Tom Baker was Irish, so
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Cool.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
he grew up in
But
England. But yeah,
Right. So he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's a Brit.
Mm.
So yeah, I could see him in that aspect. And a lot of the doctors, most of the doctors, they usually have an odd look to them.
Mhm.
And Eddie fits that.
And he fits
He
that.
does. He
fits
does.
that really well.
Yep.
I think he would be a little bit of a mix between Tennant and Smith.
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
he could. I think he could work.
Because he's got that
Interesting.
personality that they both have, that very excited puppy
Mm.
Puppy,
personality.
I like that. Puppy, I like
He's
it.
a very, I don't know, at least in his acting for Newt, he's very bubbly and excited, and that flows well with the Doctor.
Mhm.
And I just think he would make a fantastic, no pun intended.
So
Mhm.
now, I had
the next
another.
Doctor's probably going to be brooding, though. I mean, if they're if they're casting against type, because Jodie Whittaker's bubbly, so
Yeah.
usually they go bubbly brooding, bubbly brooding, bubbly brooding.
Mm.
I don't know what
I
do you
don't know.
what do you call Chris Eccleston? And
I
then
think he's
Brooding. Yeah,
He
he's
was
brooding.
but then he
But then
became more
You got
bubbly.
David Tennant,
but then you got David Tennant, and then you
Who
go to
was
Matt
bubbly.
Smith,
Who was very bubbly.
more
Yeah.
bubbly.
right? And then we have Capaldi. Now
Mhm.
Capaldi,
Very
brooding.
brooding.
he's brooding. So
Yeah.
And then Jodie Whittaker's bubbly. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they go with another bubbly.
Mm.
I have no idea how he's gonna
I
act.
don't know the
Mhm.
actor.
And I'm excited.
Shuti Gatwa. I had to go look it up. His name is Shuti Gatwa.
Shuti Gathwa, and
How do
he
you
was
know?
just announced a couple weeks ago, I believe.
He was. He was. His big
Now-
claim to fame so far is the BBC show Sex Education.
Yes, which I still
Mhm.
haven't seen.
Yeah, no, but I hear it's good. My wife's friend Mary had talked to us about that one last fall when she was visiting. She says, if you haven't seen Sex Education, I think it's on Netflix. Check it out. And so far we haven't, but it's on our watch list.
Gotcha. Well, I had no idea who he was,
Mm.
and like I was telling Zig before we started, I was like, I have no idea how to say this guy's name.
Hmm.
This is such an odd spelling. It's like I have no clue how you pronounce this.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the way it's spelled.
no.
Not the way it's because I had to
No,
go look it up. I was like, that
not at
can't be right. No, it's creepy.
And we will all be used to it, and probably
Oh yeah,
Years
a
time.
season or so.
right. It'll just roll off the tongue, kind of like
Mhm.
Star Wars characters. Star Wars characters has all these odd names, and when you first hear them, it's like, what the heck is
What?
that? And then
Yeah.
6 months down the road, it just rolls off your tongue.
Mhm.
Who the hell
Where
names
is
their
this
kid
from?
Wedge?
Right. Well, Even worse than that, Shmi.
Yes,
Me.
My name is Shmi.
Or the Emperor.
Yeah, Palpatine.
Palpatine. Wait a minute.
Sheev.
Sheev. Yeah.
Palpatine.
Who names their kid Sheev? Come on. Of course, then again, my name is Shanks, so I get
Sheev and Shanks.
yeah.
Mhm.
I get some comments about Shanks.
Mhm.
Now, one of the things that I was thinking about.
Were you in
So-
Stargate? I'm sorry.
To what? Oh, was I in Stargate? No, I was not in Stargate. You know, the funny thing about that is I never watched Stargate.
Mhm.
And so I had no idea that the star of Stargate was Michael Shanks.
Yeah.
So like years after the TV series had run its course, and then somebody approached me about it, and they said something about, you know, there's a guy with your name on Stargate. And I was like, no, I didn't know. That at all.
What?
And then come to find out, he was born in December, not the same date. I'm born December 27th, and I believe he was born in 1970 also. So,
Oh wow.
so I'm like, wow, we
You
do
guys were
have.
born within a week of each other and you had exactly the same name. That's kind of weird.
Mm.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
If you were born in the same city, we might
know,
have some
right?
trouble. Do you look like your parents, right?
Well, you know, there's a funny story there too. So I told you there's a cemetery behind us where we live,
Mhm.
right?
Quiet
one day-
neighbors.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, they're my favorite neighbors, by the way. Very quiet, very respectful. I love them. Anyway, one day I'm at work and my wife calls me up. She went over to the cemetery because actually her dad and her grandmother are buried in the cemetery, the cemetery behind us. And her and her mom were out there visiting her dad's grave, and they were kind of just exploring the cemetery and looking at different markers, right? So she calls me up and she's like, "You're never going to believe what I just found." And I'm like, "Okay. Yes, I know, Jeff. We're squirrely." This is a good story, though. She's like, "You'll never believe what I just found." And I'm like, "Okay." She says, "I just found a grave marker. The couple's names, their name is Shanks, and they got married on September 14th, which is our wedding date."
Nice.
And I go, "Please tell me their names are not Michael and Brenda, because if they are, you just stepped into the freaking Twilight Zone."
Mhm.
And she goes, no, they have different first names. And actually, the wife hadn't passed yet, so the dates on her side were still open. So anyway,
We
squirrel.
also have the Wayne family.
Oh yeah. No, not the Wayne
Oh.
family. We have the Batman family.
Oh no, they are Batman.
The
I
Batman
thought it was
family
Wayne.
is buried in that cemetery.
Are they related to the Newport Batmans?
So weird. There's a lot of the weird things going on over there. Anyway,
No,
Spider-Man.
but they're only side related to the Southern Robins. So
that's great. I love it. So, okay, one of the other things I was thinking about. So, you know, when Jodie Whittaker was announced, there was a lot of tension in Doctor Who fandom, and like I said, I'm not a fan of her. And I'm not a fan, not because of what a lot of people are like, oh, you don't like her because she's a woman, which is not the reason I don't like her. Because in fact, I remember when they introduced Missy, the female
Master. Yeah.
Michelle Gomez.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yes, Michelle. Yeah. In fact, I wasn't keen on the idea of the Master becoming a woman at the time. And then I'm like, but I'll give her a shot. You know, let's see what she's got. I fell in love with that character.
Yeah. No, she brought a lot to it.
Chemistry.
Oh, her and Matt's chemistry was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Just great. So, I mean, she was proof that you could gender swap the Time Lord and such and do a good job. So I didn't have a problem with that. But my question has been, okay, because it's been a rumor in Doctor Who that we're going to have a female doctor actually since classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was rumored back then it was going to happen.
Tom Baker suggested it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Tom
Mhm.
Baker did. Which I would say back then it would be even less likely to happen, which it was.
Mhm.
But my question is, we've had female Time Lords. In fact, we had a very prominent female Time Lord in the classic series. We had Romana.
Romana.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why we have not revisited Romana
Yeah.
in the new series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't she?
There was an episode where they keep panning over to this woman with stuff painted on her hands, and she's like this, and they never say who she is.
Oh,
And the whole
yeah.
time I'm looking at her, I'm like, that is either Romana or
Mhm.
Susan.
Who's that?
Oh, well, Susan would be the granddaughter of the Doctor.
Oh, that's Susan.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. But they never mentioned it. They just
No.
kind of
no.
left it off to the side.
Yep.
So what episode was this
Oh
one?
my God. Toward the end of Tennant's run,
Yeah.
when they go back to the Council of Time Lords, there's this
Mhm.
woman
Yeah,
who
with
has her
Rassilon and,
hands over her
What's
face.
his name from James Bond?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think I know what episode you're talking about.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Mhm.
I know.
Um,
We need.
Sorry,
But
I got
see-
excited. I got excited when I was watching it.
Mhm.
I'm seeing it in my head now. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I would love for them to visit Romana, though. I think
Agreed.
that would be fantastic, and I think she'd be a fan favorite if they would bring her back.
Mhm.
Now, in
Yeah.
the next episode, they are bringing back Ace and Tegan
Yes.
Javanka.
Yes.
You said, Tegan's coming back too.
Yes.
Yes.
Tegan too.
Tegan Javanka and Ace.
Mhm.
So Ace was Sylvester McCoy's
Mhm.
companion.
companion. Yep.
Tegan was David
Davison.
Peter Davison's companion.
Peter
Yeah.
Davidson in like the last episode of Tom Baker.
Mhm.
Megan laughed at that.
Because you almost said David.
I almost said David Tennant. And David
Mhm.
Tennant is Peter Davidson's son-in-law. So
Mhm.
Yes.
What about that?
Yep.
Yeah, he's married to Georgia Moffat,
Mhm.
which is actually Peter Davidson's real last name. It's actually Peter Moffat,
right.
but he had to change
Really?
it for
I didn't know that.
yeah. He had to change it for getting his SAG card.
And then she played the Doctor's daughter, Jenny,
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. which
I love her character.
which she
too.
never came back either.
I wish.
No.
No, she jumped in a spacecraft and left.
Right. We
Mhm.
never saw her again, but they kind of alluded that we would see her again.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. Now I think Big Finish has done some audio adventures with her, which would make sense.
Mm.
I bet Jenny hooked up with Clara and the girl who never dies,
Oh yeah.
driving around in a 1950s diner.
Mhm.
That's how I see that. If they write it, it's going to ruin what I've got in my head. So they better write it really well.
So
Because that scenario is awesome.
you're kind of hoping that they don't, so it stays in your head canon.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's going to change what's in my head.
Oh, there's Mark.
Space Ninjas.
So Mark was taken hostage by space ninjas. Okay, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Nice.
Well, hopefully, Mark, a Tardis showed up to
To
save
rescue
you.
you. The best sound in the world is the TARDIS materializing.
Oh my gosh, I love
Right.
the sound of the Tardis. Yes.
Which goes into another
Oh.
fantastic companion.
Yes. 'cause
Oh, yeah.
that was
Mhm.
River.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Who-
It didn't make the noise. That's because he leaves the brakes on.
That's right. Yeah.
I love that sound. That's a brilliant sound.
It only does that because you leave the parking brake on.
And River had fantastic chemistry with all the ones that she
She did.
interacted with too.
Mhm. Yes, I agree. I loved
I
River.
love
River
River.
song was awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh wow. Jeez.
Yep.
So there was something else I wanted to explore.
Sorry.
And now I don't remember what it was. The penguin apparently fell off the iceberg.
Sorry.
Which, by the way, there is a penguin companion to Colin Baker's Doctor.
Really?
Frobisher.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay then.
Speak of connections there.
Uh-huh.
And I actually have an audio adventure of Tom
Wow.
Baker with the
penguin fell off the iceberg and slid into the TARDIS.
exactly.
They made audio of that? I gotta hear that.
Yeah, I have it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. So yeah.
Those are
So-
some good comics.
So the penguin has been in Doctor Who,
Mhm.
which is amazing. Oh gosh. Let's see. What else did we want to cover? Romana. Yeah, I think I've hitting all the points that I wanted to hit. Was there anywhere else you guys wanted to go with this? I mean, we are at the hour mark anyway, so.
Okay.
I mean, unless you wanted to talk about villains.
Yeah.
Ooh, villains! Oh my gosh, there are so many villains in Doctor
Mhm.
Who. Of course, my favorite villains. I mean, I'm cliche as far as Doctor Who goes. I love the Daleks and I love the Cybermen.
Mhm.
They're fantastic. New Who, I gotta say, the Silence and the Weeping Angels are probably my favorites in New Who. Just
Mhm.
amazing bad guys.
Also,
Yeah.
Blink is one of the best episodes ever.
Oh, Blink was
The
so
It is.
introduction to the angels.
It is. A lot of people say, like, if you're talking to somebody who hasn't seen Doctor Who, that's the one they always point to. See Blink. But I'm like, yeah, but he's hardly in it.
That's
It's
right.
a great
Yeah.
time travel story,
Right.
and Sally Sparrow is a great character in herself.
Yeah, I don't think I would point any New Who fan directly to that episode to start with.
Mhm.
I would say you watch a few other episodes
Yeah.
where you get
If you're not going to start with Eccleston's first one, I would do the two-parter. That's Mark just brought it up.
uh,
The
I
creepy
know.
gas
Dr.
mask people.
Dances Yes. Yeah,
Are-
the
I
two-parter with
quote that all
Eccleston.
the time.
are you?
I
my
love
mommy?
that. That one's got everything.
Funny.
It's got the creepy, gas mask children, and it introduces Jack Harkness.
Yeah.
So it's that two-parter is awesome.
Are we
Awesome.
gonna get him back?
I would hope so.
I've seen rumors that we're gonna get Captain back.
Well, Russell T. Davis is coming back,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I would say since Russell T. Davis is coming back, the chances of Jack coming back are very,
Yeah.
very
I love
good.
him.
Mhm.
I love
Oh
him.
man, but that is
Yeah.
so hard because I mean, yes, he looks great, but he is
Mm.
aging, and the problem with the character of
He
Jack
is.
Harkness is he
Yeah.
can't age.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
eventually he
He
becomes a
can't die.
giant head.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
He
true.
does become the face of Bo.
Right. Mark said anyone wearing a gas mask is
are you my mummy?
Are you
Oh
my
God,
I
just
see.
that is chilling. My wife hates that. If I do that, she's like, "Stop it! Stop it!"
So one of our comic book stores.
You're gonna bring it
Twilight-
up. Okay.
Yeah, I am because I love that, and I wish we would.
I was just gonna bring that up.
So Twilight used to have an artist that sold their prints at Twilight, and one of the things that they did was Doctor Who prints.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I bought you one of them.
Yes,
or
you got me the one.
and then you've gotten me one.
Yeah,
because I've gotten Dad a what was it?
it's a Doctor Who Star Wars crossover where you have C-3PO, but
That's
he's
right.
in the shape of a Cyberman.
Cyberman.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got
Nice.
me Winnie the Pooh
Nice.
with the TARDIS.
Yep.
But there's this one. There's a Dr. Seuss book that's "Are You My Mommy?" and a dog and a bird.
Yep.
And it's that the artist did a rendition that it was the cover of that book.
Yeah.
And they both had the gas masks, and it's
And it says, "Are you my mummy?"
Are you my mummy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember
That's
me?
funny. That's funny. Yeah, I've got my crossover, my Mystery Science Theater / Doctor Who
Nice.
t-shirt on. Yeah.
So I
That-
I mean, I
Tardis
feel
made
bad. I wore a
out of
Bikini
love.
Kill T-shirt.
Nice, Zig.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
have my Lego Doctor Who,
There you go.
Nice.
which is a play on Megalopolis, which is the final episode of Tom Baker into Peter Davison. And this one's called Lego.
Logopolis.
Yeah, Legopolis. and this one's called Legoopolis.
Oh, nice.
That was from T Fury.
Mark says Star Wars and Doctor Who together. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. A good one, Mark. I like that. Chewbacca.
T Fury's had some really good Doctor Who shirts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love T Fury.
Now, I did see the 5 Doctors in the theater. I saw the not Mystery Science. They're now
Rift
Tracks. I saw the Rift Tracks version of the 5 Doctors a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
Theater. Right. It was great. I love it. And I just saw that you can actually watch Doctor Who and the Daleks with Peter Cushing.
That's right.
Peter Cushing one?
Yeah, we didn't even discuss that.
I had it on Amazon Prime
a
couple of nights ago when we were having our meeting about this episode.
Well, Rift Tracks has got a version of that one too.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to watch that one.
Yeah. But they also have the non-Rift Tracks version on there as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a version of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I think that was really done for the US, and Peter Cushing played the first Doctor.
Maybe.
But,
I don't know if it was done for the US, but it was definitely a couple of movies that they did. I think Amicus, which was a studio that was competing with Hammer back then. And Hammer obviously did all the Peter Cushing, Frankenstein, and Christopher Lee Dracula movies back in the day. And he would go back and forth. But the two of them did movies for both studios, but they're mostly known for Hammer. But Amicus, I think, were the ones that produced the Doctor Who non-canonical movies from back then in the 60s.
But for some reason, I thought it was done to try and sell it to an American audience.
It's possible. I mean, all those movies came over here, but originally they were, released in Britain.
But now Peter Cushing's Doctor is very different.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he's not an alien.
Yeah, he's human.
He's human. He just happens to invent a time machine that he calls the Tardis.
Right.
He brings his granddaughter
Which
along
still means time and relative dimensions in space.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. They kept the acronym. That was, that stayed consistent. But the story, the story of Doctor Who and the Daleks matches up with the first serial of Doctor Who.
Yep.
I mean, the stories are identical, but the Doctor,
because Terry Nation was trying to cash in. He wrote it. But he couldn't. The things he didn't write were the Doctor being an alien, so he couldn't do that. And he didn't write. A couple of changes that you've got are the things that he didn't write. Now, he did write about the Daleks, about traveling in the TARDIS. So that's why he was able to get away with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Terry Nation was trying to make some money, honestly. But I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He wrote the Daleks, and he only get a big piece of that until he.
Unfortunately, I don't think he got much from those movies either.
What you're talking about reminds me of the one episode with the was that a Matt Smith episode? I'm not sure. The where the TARDIS was a hot air balloon.
Oh
yeah.
That was called the next. I think it's called the next
Doctor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was a Tenet or if it was a Matt. I think it was a Tenet.
It was a Tenet. It was toward the end of his run.
Yeah.
It was. There
were a lot of rumors about him leaving and
the
next Doctor going to be. So they had this episode come out called The Next Doctor. And
Peter Morrissey,
the actor that played him.
Peter Morrissey.
Well, that's the funny thing, because he played the governor in Walking Dead.
That's right, he did.
Yes.
David Morrissey.
Yep.
And he was so different as quote unquote the Doctor than he was the governor. And it was just because I was watching Walking Dead at the time, and I was just blown away that the governor was playing the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. And he did a fantastic job, actually. I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just too bad that he really wasn't the Doctor. It was all in his head.
Yep.
That's a great episode too.
Yeah, that's a sonic screwdriver. Well, it's a screwdriver and it makes noise.
Right.
It's sonic.
I forgot about that. That's great. And his companion, she was a lot like Rose. In fact,
Yeah.
I think she was Rosita or something like
Something
that.
like that.
You know,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
good. So that was such a great episode.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't recommend that as a first episode to new.
No.
Oh no, no,
'Cause
it'll
you-
break their brains.
Mhm. Yeah.
They will be so.
Oh, it's a good
confused.
story by saying a lot, and then they'll go back and watch something else. It's like, what?
What did I
Mhm.
just watch? Yeah, you got to get to know who a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Oh, and for that matter, David Bradley, who we talked about playing the first Doctor
Yep.
in Adventure in Time and Space, he actually appeared in a Matt Smith episode as another character, and I love the title of this episode.
Mm.
It's called "Dinosaurs on a
On a
Spaceship,"
Spaceship.
Yeah, that's right.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Hmm.
and I love it
forgot
when
he was in
Matt
that.
Smith says "Dinosaurs on a
On a
spaceship."
Hmm. Hmm.
It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
also,
and there was a lot of that where a lot of the actors that they used had previously appeared. Even Capaldi.
Quality.
Yes.
That's what I was
He-
just gonna
yep.
mention.
Yep. He was in
Yep.
the
He
was it the
first
Fires of
introduced in
Pompeii?
Yes.
Yep.
And
Well,
Amy
and
Blunt as well.
the-
Not yeah. Karen Gillian was in that episode as well, I believe. And
Yes.
she was one of the
She was one of
handmaidens.
the-
She was all
one
painted
of the
up.
Sister Witches. or
That's
whatever.
right. I forgot about that.
Hmm.
Absolutely right.
Yep.
then-
And
The
Capaldi was
character who
also
plays the
in-
master now was Waris Hussein in Adventures in Space and Time.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's playing the master now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
in the.
he played the first
in the-
director, Waris Hussein, and the
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
But he's
And
in the
then
Jodie Whittaker. He's the
Fires
Jodie
of
Whittaker master.
Pompeii. Fires of Pompeii. Actually, there was an audio adventure of Fires of Pompeii with Sylvester McCoy too.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah.
The Pompeii episode.
God, I gotta get into these audio adventures, man. I haven't been listening to them.
There is. I don't know any of them either.
Big Audio does some of the best audio in the
Mm.
world.
Yeah.
mean-
well, they were keeping it alive during the dark times too.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else was doing that.
But
Mhm.
dude, it's like actually watching an episode without watching it. You know, I
Mhm.
mean, it has all the music, the sound effects, and you know, it's not like a lot of other audio productions. It
Mhm.
actually, I mean, you could close your eyes and you think you're watching the episode.
Mm.
Honestly, that's
Cool.
how good it is. They really
Like
are.
the,
amazing.
the Star Wars radio drama from back in the day.
Honestly, you know, everyone praises the Star Wars radio dramas. These are better.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome. Because I
Yes.
love the Star Wars radio dramas. Those were amazing.
Those are great, but the quality of these.
Mm.
See, I listen to that and I still don't feel like, you know, like I could close my eyes and think that I'm listening to a Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
But these, you close your eyes and you think that Doctor Who is actually on the television in front of you. That's how good they are.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I cannot sing the praises of Big Finish any more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Megan, you were going to say something. I think I interrupted you.
I was mostly just saying Pompeii was one of my favorite episodes.
That was a great episode. too.
It was.
I really enjoyed
That's-
that one.
Yeah, and that's a Donna episode. I love Donna too.
Donna was a good companion.
Most of the
Yeah.
new companions.
Yeah. Yep.
Donna
They had some
was fun.
Great chemistry together. Her and
Donna
Tennant.
was fun because she was a little more comedic.
Oh, she was very comedic.
Oh my gosh, she did a comedy sketch
Mm.
with David Tennant.
Yep, I've seen that so
And
many times.
she's
Is
playing
that the
like
one where she's the student?
Uh-huh.
yes,
Yes, I've seen
Yes.
that one. Yeah.
and he comes in and she's like, "Aren't you the doctor? Are you a Time Lord?" And he's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about."
It was just a abortion thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
That is a fantastic. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it's called.
Yeah. Yep.
that's great. And then the short crossover between Peter Davison and David Tennant. That's a great one to watch because Peter Davison's doctor ends up in David Tennant's Tardis,
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and they
The-
bump into each other.
the
and-
little mini episode.
yes, oh, so good. I love that. Another great Doctor Who extra would be the Night of the Doctor, the one.
The Night of the Doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm.
the intro to the 50th anniversary special.
John
Yeah.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Well, it was Paul McGann,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was Paul McGann regenerating into John Hurt,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
who becomes the War Doctor.
Mm.
Which
Yeah.
John Hurt is amazing.
And that was cool because that was like a forced regeneration almost, where he had to drink whatever, I forget who the witches were that gave it to him.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
forgot.
The witches
about
of
it.
the witches of Karn.
Yeah. And they gave him that potion, which kind of forced him to regenerate into the War Doctor because that's who was needed.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I forgot all about. Man, I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch that after we're done.
Oh yeah, it's
was-
the witches of Karn from the Brain of Morbius episode, which is
Yes. Yep. Yeah, they connected to classic Who too.
Mm-hmm.
So
we just
wow.
need to go back and rewatch the new.
all the new Who.
Yes, we have most of it.
There's a lot we're still missing, but I think you can watch it all on. Actually, I think Amazon has all the new Who. Amazon Prime actually has all the new Who.
HBO Max does as well.
Oh, maybe it's
Mm.
HBO Max. I'm thinking.
Yeah, HBO Max has a lot of the new Who. I don't think they've got all the Jodie Whittaker ones yet, but
they don't have the last episode, the last 2 episodes, the 2 specials yet.
Okay.
You'll have to hit those on BBC America.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And then, like Zig said, BritBox has got all the classic
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Who.
And like I said, either Pluto TV or Tubi TV has a Doctor Who, a classic Doctor Who.
In that set of links that you should be able to get to, that you can get there from that link. I've got that link listed out.
Now,
all right.
Now, Tubi, you were saying that Tubi actually has it live. I mean, you have to watch it like old school television,
Right? Yeah,
not
they
on
have
demand. Like
exactly, it's not on demand, but they have a Doctor Who channel, and it's running like pretty much.
It's Pluto
24/7.
TV. Yeah, Doctor Who Classic on Pluto TV.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch that, you got to pay attention to the times and come in at the right time and watch it like we all watched it when we were kids.
Back in the day.
Right, back in the day.
Back in the
Oh my
day.
God, I fell asleep. I'm gonna have to wait 2 or 3 years to see the rest of this episode.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, I remember one summer we were camping actually, and we were bad. We actually took a television with us.
So you can watch Doctor Who.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. So, here in the St. Louis area, we got Doctor Who on Channel 9. That was our PBS station, Channel 9, and they would show it on both Sunday nights, but Sunday nights they edited the entire, series together, or not series, serial together into one long episode. So
yeah, I wish they did that up here too.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Because like Zig said, it could be 3.5, 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Because they were half-hour blocks normally, and then the
serials will run anywhere from like 4 to 7 episodes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on Sunday nights they would put them together like that. Now on the weekday afternoons, you get the regular half-hour blocks.
Yeah.
But Sunday nights you watch the entire serial. So I was camping. Me and my parents were camping. We had a little black and white television with us, and I was able to pick up Channel 9 because it came over air pretty nicely. And I was like, cool, I'm watching Doctor Who. I fell asleep outside watching it, and the next morning I'm just covered in mosquito bites.
Worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. The rest of the trip was horrible, but
yeah.
But yeah, that was my experience watching Doctor Who.
And then camping with me, it was always Lost Boys.
Oh yeah. Megan and I we went camping one time, and I took a little portable DVD player with us. Actually,
a couple of times.
Actually, I did that with my nephew Dakota once too. He had a Cub Scouts trip, and I went with him because his dad couldn't go. And he and I took the portable DVD player, and the two of us watched Doctor Who.
Nice.
Yeah. Because he was kind of starting to get in Doctor Who at that time. Okay, well, we've hit an hour and 20, and I think we've had a great Doctor Who conversation. This This has been a blast.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do this again. We might have to
That's
start
60
picking
years
some
to cover. We've
doctors.
only just scratched the surface.
Well, we
Yeah, oh
definitely
my
have to do it
gosh.
again because Angie didn't get to come in.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Mom didn't get to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Watch live.
Yep.
Angie was disappointed. Angie had other plans today, and she's like, "What do you mean you're doing Doctor Who on that Saturday? I got a girls thing at church."
Yeah.
So she couldn't be here, unfortunately, and she loves Doctor Who too.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll probably have to do this again. We'll plan another episode like this sometime. But yeah, this has been great. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys being on. And
Oh, anytime.
doing
Thanks for
this.
having us, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh, anytime, guys. And we'll have to do something like this again with Steven too. Have him back.
Mhm.
It won't be a Doctor Who.
No, we could always force feed Steven some Doctor Who.
That's true.
Strap him in a chair, glue his eyes open
Exactly.
like Clockwork Orange.
Nice. Yeah, cool. All right. So with that said, thank you guys very much.
Absolutely.
Megan, go ahead and say who you are. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, Zig, tell everyone where they can find Nerdery and Murdery.
Oh yeah. I'm Zig with your Nerdery from Nerdery and Murdery. All our links and Patreon extensions and everything can be found at our website, nerderyandmurdery.com, as well as episodes and various other pictures and links and things like that.
Nice. And you guys have a Patreon page, right?
Yes, we do. You can link there from our Patreon. I think we're probably going to end up putting some of the audio from this too, if we have a recording.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, Brien, let's tell where you're from.
I am 1/4 now of the Three Geeky Dads podcast. We can be found at www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com. And that's our hub for everything too. All of our episodes can be found there. There is, links to our social media sites, and we also have a Ko-fi page as well. So
nice.
Please head on over there and check us out.
And Megan,
I didn't know I was doing it. But you have our hub for everything, www.2geeksmic.com. That's the number 2, GEEKSMIC, which has, see, I don't do this thing, and you're making me do it. Please.
I'm with you. I don't do ours either.
Which has our Ko-fi, where you can I can't talk. Sponsor us and get our exclusive episodes for our second series, I guess.
Sure.
Our classic sci-fi, which has 2 episodes so far. Logan's Run, which primarily features me talking about the book. And then Dad and Steven talking about the Wrath of Khan for the second one. And then that is also where you can get to our Discord. And any tier sponsors, as in like the monthly, gets you into the Discord. And we plan to have fun nights with Discord when we have people there.
Yes, the idea is once we get some subscribers, some regular subscribers, we'll do some maybe watch parties over Discord.
Fun.
Which, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, maybe we could do a Doctor Who watch party.
Absolutely. Put on one of those Peter Cushing movies and
oh, that would be fun. Do a whole riff tracks thing. Like,
There we go.
All right.
You can do your own version of Drink Till It's Good.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which that's one of you guys' features, which I absolutely love.
As a matter of fact, this month we're doing a whole bunch of Drink Till It's Goods because it's as Mark chimed in, he's the other 1/4 of our crew, and he loves to do this in the month of May. We have May the Fours be with you, we call it. So we take the 4th crappy installment in a usually bad horror or sci-fi franchise, and we just skewer the heck out of it. So the booze flows and the comments flow, and it's a good time.
So your first
Oh my
one this month was
Caravan of Courage.
Caravan Courage, the
Yep,
Ewoks
the
Adventure.
Ewoks Adventure. Because
What's your second
technically
one?
it wasn't the fourth theatrical movie, but it was like the fourth one produced. That one went right to TV.
Right.
So
Right. Which I like your thinking on.
like, and being four guys with a title, 3 Geeky Dads, we're always playing with the numbers.
So what's your next one? What's your upcoming?
Our upcoming one is, believe it or not, Hellraiser 4, Hellbound.
Oh,
Oh, that one's actually pretty good.
You know what, Zig? I really thought I was going to make a lot more fun of it than I did, and I ended up enjoying it. So this one's going to be a tough one to try and skewer. I think this one's going to have a little bit more praise than poking fun.
That's okay.
Yeah.
As long as it fits in your thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Mark's correcting me. Bloodline.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. So with that said, I'm going to close things out. Brian, go ahead and say goodbye for you. And
I'm Brian from 3 Geeky Dads and Allons-y.
Nice. And I've been Michael from 2 Geeks and a Microphone. And we also have, wait a minute, let me get okay. And we have Zig.
I'm Zig with your nerdery. Cue the music.
Thank you for joining us today on the 2 Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,